everybody, welcome back to my anime channel, Gizanime. Today we're going to be reading Solo Leveling, chapter 178. Last chapter we left off with Jin Woo and the rulers beating the Dragon Monarch. Jin Woo basically made it possible for the rulers to open a gate to come into the world to allow them to take the Dragon Monarch out. And they've even stated that this is the best outcome they've had since they started this whole thing. And that if things were left the way they were, Jin Woo would be remembered as a hero, the world could start to mend, and we can go forward from here. The only caveat is Jin Woo would lose a whole lot of people that he knew and cared about. So I get the feeling that a lot of people died that we just weren't shown. That maybe Thomas Andre, Liu, etc. were all killed, and we just didn't see that through this war that was going on while he was contending with the Dragon Monarch. Because he asked the main ruler, the brightest fragment, to let him use, I think it's called the Cup of Reincarnation, I really can't remember now, to reset the world to where he wanted to make it to where nobody on the planet, like no humans were there, but just the Monarchs. Because what happens is if it's reset, the Monarchs come back with all of their memories so that they would know that he killed them and that he won. And they would probably, plan around that and take into account, everything that happened and try to avert their demise. But he has, I guess, some kind of plan in place so that he's able to come out on top against all of the Monarchs, which is insane because he was having quite a bit of trouble at his full power with this Dragon Monarch. Now, the others are kind of inconsequential. I feel like he could handle them pretty easily, especially at his full power. But with that said, there's really not a whole lot more to go off of. So let's get into this chapter, see how things play out, and I'll see you there. Alright everybody, here we go, chapter 178. Let's see what happens. Alright. This is not what I was expecting at the beginning. Okay, are they being erased? Or something? There's a really bright light heading towards them. So I guess that's like the chalice resetting everything, right? The cup. Okay, so they didn't die. Quite the opposite, actually. Look at our boy Thomas here just grabbing this thing by the throat like, what's this bright light? Alright, so they're not dead either. And she's not dead, so everybody he cares about's not dead. So I guess he just wants to reset it for, like, everybody that has died, though. Because, let's face it, most, if not all, of Canada was wiped out, right? So that's quite a few lives that were lost. And then whoever, I guess, was in the U.S., because is that where they're fighting now? Or were they trying to salvage what was left of Canada, which seems a bit mute. Oh, she is really wide-eyed. Alright. So we're getting our reset. So everybody should be gone now, right? No? Chanel, could you wake your brother up for me? Yes. This is a much younger... Oh, you're already awake. Wow.
I have no idea what's going on.
we definitely went back in time. Quite a while back in time. They're what? 10? 8? 10? What? This isn't what I expected. I expected everybody we wiped out but Jin Woo, and then like his adult persona or self takes on the Monarchs. So does he have all of the previous life's knowledge? Is that what we're working up to? Jin Woo just washed up. The smell of stew that's being cooked and the sound of chopping.
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
I don't know what that means. It's like we're getting subtitles for the cooking. Jin Woo, you're awake. In my room that's full of my smell. Okay. Father.
That feels weird.
Father, not dad? So this is before the gates, right? And everything changed. Why are you suddenly acting that way? I think I just had a nightmare. Yeah, my nightmare has ended. My nightmare is over, and now I'm with my younger sister, my mother who's healthy, and my father who didn't disappear. So this is basically like the best Jin Woo could hope for. So, is this a dream? Is this the reset that he asked for? Or are the rulers basically giving him a glimpse of like the perfect life that he could have wanted? I was given the last chance to set everything right. I won't lose this opportunity. I can now rewrite the future that is to come. Okay, so I think this is a reset to when he was much younger, which is giving him a lot of time to, like, I guess, prep for what's happening or going to happen. So that maybe he could face off against each monarch individually and then grow even stronger to take on the Dragon Monarch. It's the only thing I can think of right now. But, just for a little, isn't it okay for me just to treasure this peace that I'm feeling? Okay, so I guess I'm going to school, hanging out with his friends, as a reward for myself. I know it as well. I know that beyond those skies, there are monarchs preparing humongous gates to attack us right now. But for just a little longer, if this time that I'm enjoying wouldn't cause harm to anyone, then I would like to stay here and enjoy it for a day longer. And that's kind of the thing about peace, though. You get a little too used to it. Because you're able to reset what's going on, but this kind of, I want to say callous, lax way of going about what he's doing. Because, okay, if this is really what's going on, if things are reset to where he's a child now, which I find really unique but a bit jarring at the same time. Sure, he has time to relax and, just live life, especially since, his father's there. I'm pretty sure that that's like a big thing for him right now. But every day that passes, every month that passes, every year that passes, if you keep up this lax attitude, you're just going to get lazier and lazier to the point where he might even forget about what's really going on. So you can't let your guard down too much. Okay, he left a letter or something? I'll come back after I'm done with what I need to do. Okay, so he's already left, right? He is out training. Alright, is he a child with his shadows? Oh, they're all out there having a good old time. This empty world that has nothing but endless darkness feels extremely lonely if there isn't any fighting. Alright. Is that Jin Woo? Is he like... I guess he just killed that Monarch, right? I won my fight against the Monarchs. And killed the Monarch of the Transfiguration, who was at the core of everything. So he's the one that created the gates, I guess, right? So are two things going on at the same time? Is he living life as a child while simultaneously in this void or this realm as his grown self taking on these people? These monarchs?
Good guess, but actually no.
I won my fight against the monarchs. So did he kill them all? Again, this is really jarring because I'm not sure what's really going on here.
We know that, you fool.
And so it's been 27 years since I entered the dimensional crack. Okay, so man, he looked like he was what? 16 to 18. So what, he's almost 40 now? And this image of him looks pretty cool. I like this. Like the longer flowing hair. Yeah, that looks really bad. It looks like the long and dreary fight is finally coming to an end soon. The only remaining enemies are the Dragon Emperor. Okay, so he hasn't killed them all. And his direct soldiers, the Brigade of Destruction. Okay, have we heard about them before? I'm glad that time flows differently outside compared to in here. After around 2 years have passed in the outside world, I guess. Okay, so yes, he is definitely fighting a simultaneous battle or living kind of like two separate lives. A life inside of this thing. Or maybe not. Maybe because he wrote that letter to his mom. So he left. And that much time has passed inside here, but only 2 years outside.
By George, I think he's got it.
So if he was like 10 when he left, and his dad and mom and sister were all there, then he would be 12 if he came back now. And I guess this route that he's taking now has also prevented everybody else from becoming a hunter. So, like, none of those events were any of the hunters, like Gizanime, etc. So Gizanime might actually still be alive along with the others that died, like the Reed guy, Christopher Reed or something like that. I don't know if that's exactly his name. It kind of reminds me of the guy who played Superman. But if he's still alive. So that would be interesting. So if that's the case and nobody's a hunter, then the entire world is like way different than from what it would have been or what it was. Meeting everyone again after 2 years. I wonder how father and mother are doing. How much would Jenna have changed? Should I wait for her to grow up more before I explain what happened to her? My liege, we finished things up here. There are no enemies that are still breathing. And what happens after they finish this? Does Jin Woo lose his power of, the Shadow Monarch? Do, the rulers take that back? Or does he get to keep that? Or at least a part of it? Alright. We won't lose a second time. And I feel like... What has the Dragon Monarch been doing this whole time that he's been taking out all of these people? Like, has he not been released yet? Has he not been able to face off against Jin Woo? Because I feel like maybe they should have all ganged up on him, essentially, Arise. Okay, so he's risen all of them. The Monarch got Transfiguration. Yawgmoth has been defeated. Shall we move to somewhere further from where they are? No, I'm tired of running away. We'll fight with him here. Alright, so he's been running this whole time. So Jin Woo is actually a real problem for him. And now I guess he's decided that, hey, no longer going to put my tail between my legs and go hide in a cave somewhere. We're going to try to face off against him now. Which is interesting because I figured with the power that this guy had that he would have just ran headfirst into Jin Woo and faced him then with the other monarchs instead of waiting until after they were all dead. But okay, we're here. The Shadow Monarch is truly amazing. I didn't expect you to use the Cup of Reincarnation to turn back time. Because again, they remember everything. To think I'd meet you again, alive and breathing. But it's time for one of us to rest in peace for eternity. I'm Antares. What's your name? I'm the second Shadow Monarch. Why does this look like he's the one talking? Sung Jin Woo. Do you have anything else to say? No. Right, Jin Woo coming in hot and heavy. Dragon Monarch once more. And they clash. Alright. And then Jin Woo's Shadow Army coming in as the Dragon Monarch's army is coming in as well. Exchanging attacks. And then that's the chapter. So okay. That was actually a little more interesting than I thought it would be. So they reset everything. And I had thought that the Earth would be void of people. But what it is just an alternate plane of existence that they're fighting in. So I don't know why Jin Woo said that he didn't want the people to be resurrected. I could have been wrong. I might have misread that. But us seeing him get reincarnated, or time basically reset to where he was much younger before anything bad happened, before the gates were even a thing, before anyone was turned into a hunter. And then for him to say, he left like a note, I guess, to his mom, to where he was going into this little void space. And 27 years have passed by in here. And only 2 years have passed by in his home. So, if he was 10 and 27 years have passed by, he's roughly 37-ish. So, yeah. It's pretty cool. I like that. I like that he's getting this chance to set everything right where nobody dies from even the gates. Because I initially was under the assumption that things were resetting to a much closer point to than what it actually set back to where we could save Canada and all the people that died there. But we're saving a lot of lives from ever dying, from becoming a hunter, etc. So, like the school that his sister was in, that the ogres or orcs targeted, they'll be back because none of those kids would have died in that massacre that ensued, etc. So a lot of people will come back, or have come back, and things will progress differently than from what he's recalled in his previous life, if he retains those memories after everything's said and done. But like I said, I'm wondering if he's going to retain his power after this is done, or the rulers are going to take it back somehow. And that's going to be kind of like how they kill the Shadow Monarch. They don't essentially kill him, his body or anything. They just take it back somehow to where nobody has his power. Which I kind of think would be fitting, but it would be a little sad. Because I kind of feel like Jin Woo, going through everything he did, would kind of deserve to keep the power and to use it for good. Because I'm pretty sure he would. You know, just have like, even if it was just a few of the Shadow Soldiers, like his main generals, he could have them like set off on different continents to keep like the peace, which would be pretty neat. But with that said, let me know what you all thought of the reset in the chapter. If there's anything again that I'm missing or misread, let me know if you enjoyed the reaction by subbing below. I would really appreciate it. Leaving a comment, and I will see you all next time.